Psalm 95, verse 1. O come, let us sing unto the Lord. Let us make a joyful noise to the rock of our salvation. Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
There's a comforting thought at the close of the day when I'm weary and lonely and sad that sort of grips hold of this old heart and bids it be merry and glad. It gets in my soul and drives out the blues and finally thrills through and through. It's just a sweet memory that chants the refrain, I'm glad I touched shoulders with you. Did you know you were brave? Did you know you were strong? Did you know there was one leaning hard? Did you know that I waited and listened and prayed and was cheered by your simplest word? Did you know that I longed for that smile on your face, for the sound of your voice ringing true? Did you know that I grew stronger and better because I had merely rubbed shoulders with you.
Hasseltine Tina Roberts was born November 22, 1938, in Macon, Georgia. She was an active member of Chapter Q in Macon for 52 years and served as state president in 1981. Her theme was the gift of P.E.O. Tina received her bachelor's degree in history in 1960. She also received dual masters in education and library science from Florida State University. She went back to her beloved Macon and became head librarian at Wesleyan. She retired after 40 years with many honors, including an Alumni Award for Distinguished Service. She loved all books and was adamant that there was not a book that should be banned. Tina also loved P.E.O. She was elected to the Georgia State Chapter in 1973 and served 7 years. 3 chapters were organized while she was organizer. She was pleased to have her convention in Macon. 2 Georgia past state presidents who served on international boards were guests of honor. At her board meetings, she frequently served tomato aspic. Many may not know what this is. Basically, jellied tomato soup, a luncheon favorite in the olden days. I was elected to the board the year after Tina. I will never forget that at the first board meeting with her as president, she said, "The treasurer will call the roll." I sat there waiting until she said, "Linda, that's you." I never forgot to call the roll again. She was highly organized and made our meetings run smoothly. She was always quick to see a need and take charge. Once after the time of remembrance where a sister's mother was remembered, she took that sister out for ice cream later that day. You may think of a librarian as staid, but she loved a good time at state and international P.E.O. conventions. Before International Chapter began dinners for delegates, Tina would find a place in the convention center for us to have dinner. She seemed to know all the good places. One PSP said, "I knew she was really a fun, smart person who just happened to be a gruff college librarian." One of her duties as past state president was to line us up for the opening processional into the Georgia Convention. What a job she had. We never stayed in line until the last minute. One year we went in on 2 different aisles and did not know where to sit. After that, she put our names on our spots and made sure we knew where we were sitting. She served as in community organizations including DAR, Macon Service League, Macon History Club, and the Presbyterian Church. Her family was important to her, especially her niece Julie Rose and nephew John Edwards, and her great and great-great nieces and nephews. She made friends wherever she went, including Scotland, which was her favorite place to visit. Tina would be missed by all who knew her and touched by many that did not. Tina entered Chapter Eternal January 20th, 2020.
We have come to this place as part of our journey through grief and loss to say goodbye to our sisters, to remember her part in our lives, to celebrate happy memories, and to give thanks for shared experiences. We grieve because we shall no more have the visible presence of her whom we loved, but we're grateful for our association with her. We will now read the names of our sisters who have entered Chapter Eternal during the 2019-2020 P.E.O. year. We ask that you prepare your heart and your mind for remembrance and thanksgiving.
Rebecca B. Hill, Errol S. Blad, Mary L. Baker, Sylvia Frazier, Marjorie E. Hunnicky, Madeline D. Henry, Cindy Sheets, Carolyn Barber, Martha J. Cleary, Sadie H. Soul, Joyce Lassiter, Edna F. Spruill, Eva L. Gillespie, Sue Whittingell, R. Margaret Feistkorn. Agnes Hart. Frances K. Schaefer. Dorothy E. Scheiber. Marilyn N. Aaronhold. Rosemary Braun. Ruth G. Eldridge. Frances Hardy. Mary Ann Polk. Cynthia K. Hauser. Hazeltine Tina Roberts. Corey Hendricks. Mary Lisa Grumman. Jean Hepper. Melinda A. Lanier. Julia Sanks. Jane Gregory Walls. Linda Farley. Gwendolyn Ford. Marilyn Muir. Gilda Morris. Rebecca L. Schilling. Frances W. Butterworth. Rosemary Finley. Shirley F. Wolf. Mildred H. Maddox. Joan Noble Houghton. Donna Smothers Jordan. Jerry Ann Terry. Mary Virginia Reed Johnson. Corinne Folk Malloy. Inez Thweet. Georgia H. Jordan. Juby Whitenberg. Idan Bueller. Jean Reed. Linda B. Goldhofer. Jerry Baumgardner. Betty Allen. Marjorie W. Carlton. Georgia W. Carter. Rebecca B. Heckard. Barbara W. Mitchell. Barbara Paul. Susan Rendiero. Joan McFather. Labenta D. Johnson. Barbara T. Schloenbach. Barbara Holton. Irene Martin. Elizabeth Crowther. Nan Marie O'Hara. Sylvia B. Jensen.
Donna Louise Hetherington, 33rd President of Georgia State Chapter. Donna Louise Duskin Hetherington was born June 20th,
1928 in Guthrie, Oklahoma, to the late Delmer Duskin and Elizabeth Fields Duskin. Donna was the youngest of their 3 children, 2 boys, Phil and Delmer Duskin, and she the only girl. Donna was initiated into her mother's P.E.O. chapter, C.W. Guthrie, Oklahoma, on March 23, 1953. She attended Cotty College in Nevada, Missouri for 1 year. The course of her life would change when she met Jack Hetherington. Ironically, he had grown up down the street from Donna. Donna's life was quite adventurous as she traveled with Jack from one military assignment to another. While he was deployed overseas, Donna was with him in Heidelberg, Germany. Back in the United States, Donna demitted to a local chapter with each of Jack's relocations, Chapter E in Louisiana and Chapter I in Virginia. It was in Virginia that Lieutenant Colonel Jack Hetherington decided after 26 years it was time to retire from the military. A friend of Donna's suggested Jack apply for the opening at West Georgia College in Carrollton, Georgia. He did, and became the Director of Business Services for the college for the next 23 years. When Donna got to Carrollton, there were no P.E.O. chapters, so she demitted to Chapter F in Atlanta, Georgia. Donna worked to change the P.E.O. situation in Carrollton, and Chapter AE was organized November 29, 1978. By the 1981 convention of Georgia State Chapter, Donna's P.E.O. leadership skills, her talents, and enthusiasm for all things P.E.O. were well known, and she was elected to the Georgia State Executive Board. She served a term in all 7 offices. As organizer, Donna presided over the organization of Chapter A.O. Rome, Georgia, which was Georgia's 41st chapter. At Convention 1987, as incoming president of Georgia State Chapter, Donna introduced her theme for the year by saying, "My theme is a poem written by Edith L. Foster, my Chapter AE sister. It's entitled, Reach Up to Touch a Star." She said it is not so important that we touch as that we reach for our potential. The star will continue to guide. April 15, 16, 1988, Donna presided as chapter president over Georgia's 33rd State Convention in Athens, Georgia. She left us with this thought from her closing remarks. Reach up to touch a star. Although I cannot touch them, reaching makes me grow, and so I reach up to touch a star. Shortly after Donna's convention, she and Jack moved to St. Simon Island, Georgia. Again, there were no organized P.E.Os when she arrived, but before long, she oversaw the forming of a P.E.O group. This group was later to become the basis of Chapter BH, of which Donna was a charter member. After Donna's BIL, Jack began to have serious health issues. It was decided they should move to Waycross, Georgia, to be near their daughters, Sharon Calloway. Donna was soon a member of Chapter AK in Waycross, her daughter's chapter. As long as Donna's health permitted, she was faithful to attend P.E.O. chapter meetings, P.E.O. conventions, and meetings with the PSPs at their rocking chair gatherings. Donna passed from this life on June 2, 2020, just before her 92nd birthday. She was predeceased by her parents, her 2 brothers, and her husband, Lieutenant Colonel Jack Scott Hetherington Sr. Donna left quite a P.E.O. legacy. Her daughter Sharon Calloway, an active member of Chapter AK Waycross, Georgia, served 7 years on the Georgia State Executive Board, presiding as president of Georgia State Chapter's 51st Convention in 2006. Donna's 2 granddaughters, Sharon's daughters, Allison Heron and Patricia Williams, are P.E.Os. Donna's 2 daughter-in-laws are also P.E.Os. Scott's wife, Claire, who served on the executive board of Georgia State Chapter, and Steve's wife, Robin. And the numerous P.E.Os she influenced with a joyful, positive nature. She set a standard in P.E.O. to which many aspire. In 2019, at the homecoming of a 150-year celebration of P.E.O. in Des Moines, Iowa, One of the first venues I passed had the following designation: Celebrating 150 years of women helping women, reach for the stars. And I said quietly to myself and to Donna, yes, Donna, you did. I'd leave with a closing thought, Proverbs 16:9. A person's heart plans their way, but the Lord directs their steps.
We have all come to this place as part of our journey through grief and loss to say goodbye to our sisters, to remember her part in our lives, to celebrate happy memories, and to give thanks for shared experiences. We grieve because we shall have no more the visible presence of her whom we loved. We are grateful for our association with her. We will now read the names of sisters who have entered Chapter Eternal during the 2020-2021 P.E.O. year. We ask that you prepare your heart and your mind for remembrance and thanksgiving.
Marilyn Lance, Paige D. Moore, Martha Reen McMillan, Janet S. Jacobs, Myrtle Murray, Shirley Z. Story, Mina S. Greer, Mary Louise Dixon, Edith H. Ford, Daryl Jean Gould, Juanita E. Waldrop, Jerry Bray, Carolyn H. Chrissy, Helen S. Pendergrast, Carol K. Matter, Dot B. Snelling, Anne A. Broad, F. Diane Starbuck, Christine G. Billies, Elizabeth Emser, K. M. Black, Joe Almendinger, Clara Weeks Stanton, Ruth Green, Patricia Harrell Odom, Betty L. Stratton, Diane R. Brennan, Barbara Church, Jane Arnold, Hazel Berger, Marilyn McClellan, Sandra T. Wright, Wilda Smith, Betty Clements, Emily K. Volavka, Artis S. Coe, Florence W. Espy, Mabel Lee Friend, Arletta Barker, Rosemary Mallinson, Margaret Dole, Lois D. Hasty, Ann L. Holcomb, Carol B. Lundy, Wilma Sheffer, Gretchen S. Stice, Luis Benjamin Fallis, Jean D. Lowry, Sandra Yerby, Peggy G. Gray, Rebecca Lofton, Virginia T. Porter, Sina P. Hagland, Judy Kazel, Donna L. Hetherington, Virginia Leininger, Catherine S. Bennett, Mary Janet Johnson, Julie V. Oosley, Ann L. Tennille, Helen B. Waller, Amelia A. Wilson, Barbara Sedanius, Jean M. Meeker, Jane M. Peterson, Margaret W. Wise, Jan Bokenheid Bell, Nancy Lawler, Joyce Anderson, Jane R. Jacob, Bet N. Noggle, Mary Ann Nicholas, Betty C. Sexton, Shirley B. Ward, Sally Keys, Anne Stocking, Jean H. Neal, Priscilla Alday Davis, Sally Ford, Jean Muttimer, Elizabeth Rockwell, Nancy Eversman, Joan Hawk, Betty T. Smith.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace.